Virizion and the Aegis Slash. A little anti-meta by Jackson here, trying to take advantage of teams like Lionel. So we'll see if Lionel can play around this.
He's going to attack the third seat, so I can sit in.
Yeah.
Run technical side, but I'll be quiet for most of it. I'll put him own input from time to time.
So we're getting to the match now. Lionel and Jackson, good friends, played each other a lot, and getting into it. FamousDeaf issuing a challenge. He's going to lead with Clefable and Virizion. We talked a lot about the Clefable, but on the Virizion lead. And on the other side, the Kangaskhan and Zapdos.
Yeah. The semi-finalist playoff.
So we see the Kang Zapdos lead.
They're both going to get the championship points, but this is just for bragging rights.
And we see Clefable Virizion. See, it's an interesting turn because a fake out on Virizion setting up a Tailwind's pretty obvious here for Lionel. And the issue here is, though, even if he sets up Tailwind, the Follow Me is going to stop the Kangaskhan from being able to take out the Virizion. What do you think, Daniel?
Yeah, definitely. I think in not this turn, or possibly the next one, we will see Kangaskhan return back to Lionel and another Pokemon that can maybe take a close combat and get some more pressure, maybe spread moves out. The Landorus Ferian looks like it could come in and be in a really good position. Maybe not this turn, but next.
Yeah, but see, the issue with that play is the Clefable could have Ice Beam. These players know each other very well. They're good friends. So we might see a pretty serious prediction. Turn 1, we see a serious prediction straight away. The fake out, the Virizion does not go for the Protect. And Zapdos does go for the Tailwind.
We've got 3 turns.
We'll see what the Clefable does here. Maybe an Ice Beam.
Clefable goes for the Ice Beam. Yeah, we see the prediction straight away, as we said. Straight away.
Still very much anyone's game, though. Not too much happening in the first round. Coming out.
Yeah, it's definitely true. See, now the Kangaskhan is going to ask me the Virizion, so the Clefable's going to need a Follow Me to save the Virizion here from a possible return KO. Sorry.
So definitely going to see out. Maybe Jackson will go for another hard read and Ice Beam, possibly to Kangaskhan or the Zapdos slot. But definitely to Follow Me close combat onto Kangaskhan looks like a fairly obvious play, but like we talked about, the predictions are definitely going to run hot in this game, and we'll see what happens.
Also, we've done some damage calculations before, and we found that Stone Edge can KO Zapdos on a critical hit here. So Stone Edge could come out. Clefable goes to the predicted Follow Me. Kang just goes to the return. So we see, do we see Clefable Citrus Berry? Do we see a Citrus? Yep, we see Citrus Berry probably. So what are we going to see Zapdos do? Zapdos goes for the Heat Wave. How much is that going to do? That's going to let Virizion stay alive. Yeah, Virizion's still here. Virizion goes to the Stone Edge like we mentioned. Does he get the critical hit? It's a high crit ratio. No, he lives. Lionel's position has gone from good to brilliant here. He's in a really, really good predicament here. See, there's a really interesting play Lionel can do here, because saving the Clefable with the Virizion is pretty obvious, and Salamence would be a good Pokemon to come in and intimidate the Kangaskhan, and it also can take a Heat Wave. So what Lionel might want to consider doing here is going for the HP Ice, or Hidden Power Ice, onto the Virizion or the Clefable slot to try and catch Salamence in.
Definitely strong read there. But Lionel's definitely in a lot of...
Here's the withdraw on Virizion.
What's coming out?
Heatran. Heatran's pretty safe because he knows that the Hidden Power won't do anything to Heatran. Clefable goes to the Protect.
Going for a free turn here if possible, get a free switch in.
Kang goes to the return. Zapdos uses Thunderbolt. Good. Lionel outpredicts Jackson there. He knew. It was a good play. Instead of going for the Hidden Power and risking it, he went straight for the Thunderbolt and Heatran and get some good chip damage off. At this point in time, it just seems like Lionel's out-damaging Jackson. Jackson's unable to get any damage off because of this Tailwind.
Yeah, definitely. And there's still 2 turns left, I believe, of Tailwind.
I think we might have 1 turn left.
1. Well, anyway, this turn, Follow Me and the Heat Wave or a substitute is a fairly safe play. And we saw the Kangaskhan outspeed the Zapdos.
Yeah, the Kangaskhan is outspeeding Zapdos.
So Heatran's definitely going to get a good opportunity to set up a sub or get a Heat Wave and try to just get some damage on Jackson's side. All we've seen is that Stone Edge, and a bit of chip onto...
See, Follow Me have come out again. Kangaskhan doesn't fall for the bait, he just goes to the return. It should clean up the Clefable pretty easily.
Alright, Kangaskhan takes out the Clefable with a big return.
Zapdos uses Thunderbolt here on Heatran. Does that put it out of substitute range? Yes, it does. Heatran goes for the Heat Wave. Good prediction by Jackson. Oh, I guess the burn on Zapdos.
So that's definitely going to put a timer on that Zapdos. I'm not sure if it has Roost to
on stream we've seen Heat Wave, Hidden Power Ice, Thunderbolt, and Tailwind, so we can confirm no Roost. Yeah.
Basing a team around Tailwind allows you to relax a little on your...
This definitely puts Jackson in a better position he can now start to get some damage off and bring in Mega Salamence for free. And hopefully start to just get momentum back on his side rather than eating up double edges and thunderbolts.
Yeah.
And, question in the chat, does Australia have a bronze match? As far as I know, this is the match for the third place CP.
Yeah, third place.
CP, yeah.
So this would be it.
So we're not sure whether that Kangaskhan is adamant or jolly, or whether the Salamence is jolly or adamant here. So we might see the Salamence outspeed before Mega Evolving and just go straight for the double edge.
Heracross is predicting in the chat that Jackson will try and stall the game as long as possible just to read the opponent.
To try and get
download as much information as they can. I don't know. I mean, these guys are apparently, as I said before, they're good friends. They may already know this information.
I think Jackson already knows Lionel's team. I'd be shocked if he didn't even, because I know that they've shared team information before. So I'm not sure there's much to be gained.
Yeah. Lionel is very open with his team, and I just find out now it's a 252 Jolly Kangaskhan. So it's definitely one of the faster variants. Yeah. He's going to withdraw that Kangaskhan into the Landorus variant, setting off that Intimidate onto the Salamence. We'll see if Jackson can capitalize on that switch and look to get a free sub up.
Or even if the Zapdos doesn't outspeed Heat Train, if he double edged that Landorus slot and Heat Wave, that might even take them both out. Salamence does go for the double edge, Jackson not taking the bait.
That's a lot of damage.
Yeah. Is Heat Train going to jump the Zapdos? Yes, it is. Oh, Landorus avoids the attack. That is huge.
That's really game changing.
I don't think we need they're literally doing this just because they can. I think the prize and the challenge points and everything is the same.
Oh, is it really?
I think it's literally just,
bad.
just for glory.
Yeah, we see third and fourth CP get the same, so it looks like it will be for the third.
It's literally a match because they can.
Yeah.
It looks like third place gets some prize, 2DS or something like that, so.
Prize is the same. They both get the 2DS.
Alright, so it's just an exhibition.
This is just for glory, just to say they came third.
See, interestingly, we have information on Lionel's team. We know that's a timid, max speed, Life Orb Heatran, so that can speed tie at very least with Jackson's Heatran. Landorus here can also Rock Slide or Superpower and KO, or sorry, chip the Heatran and the Salamence.
Yeah. We also know from Jackson that his Mega Salamence is only running one attack in Double Edge. He's running Double Edge, Roost, Dragon Dance, and Protect.
We see the best move in the game come out. Salamence flinches, and Heatran wins the speed tie or outspeeds Jackson's Heatran. To answer Soj King's question, we know that Lionel's team is Kangaskhan, Heatran, Landorus, Zapdos, Amoonguss, and Suicune.
So we're going to see the Virizion come back out. It's in Rock Slide range. Both Pokemon look like they're going to eat up a Rock Slide. It's hard for a way to see Jackson to win. He needs some kind of avoids.
He needs Rock Slide to miss. He needs.
Yeah,
I think Salamence might live a Rock Slide, but Double Edge will KO itself.
Again, guys, fourth place gets a 2DS as well. So it's not even for 2DS, it's just for glory.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
There it is.
It's me commentating in the background, Nardik, yes.
Is
Sorry
Virizion...
if you guys can't hear me very well.
Oh, Salamence, I think that's a critical.
That's game one.
Yeah, we see Lionel go down, win game one, sorry.
Someone asked, Yoshi, is that you commentating in the background? It is.
Yeah,
Yes,
It's just next to us.
Hello. That's how you know it's me.
Yeah, we see his pick coming. So we see Lionel take game one pretty convincingly. Yeah. But the heat wave miss was pretty crucial in my opinion.
Definitely would have been interesting what happens. What happened had he got rid of that Landorus variant with the heat wave? It would have been down to just the Heatran and the weak Kangaskhan.
Yeah.
CP distribution on third and fourth is the same. However, and the prize is the same. This is literally just because they can. There is no, just for glory. That is what it is. But yeah, sorry if you guys can't hear me too well. I'm the third guy doing technical stuff on the side for the finals at least. I'll be around in the background, but I know you can't hear me too well at the moment. Sorry about that, guys.
So to answer some Twitch chat questions, yes, Soj King, that is the correct team. Level 51. I hope you know who I am. I'm Luke, or Dog for Dinner, or Dog. And to my left here, or to your right, is Chiron. And here we got
Yoshi on the right.
We got Yoshi going in on the right here.
Howdy,
Come
howdy.
in. There he is.
So there's everyone.
Yeah.
So what do you think Jackson needs to do to adjust this game?
I was really shocked to not see Aegis Slash brought to this game. absolutely shocked to not see a Bros this game. I think the Clefable Virizion was not a bad lead, but it relied too much on predictions from Jackson. Whereas, say, Salaman's Aegislash could offer a lot more offensive pressure straight away, and it could capitalize on the Heat Wave Sucker Punches in order to gain a weakness policy boost, as we know it's weakness policy.
Yeah. Heracross guy, yes, I do remember you. A long time ago. So here we go, we're going to get into it. Game 2 of the fourth exhibition match for bragging rights. You see the ancient Egyptian Catgonk versus Jackson FamousDeaf Lakey. He's going to send out the Salamence and Clefable, changing up that Virizion slot for the Salamence. And on the other side, we're going to see the same lead, Kangaskhan and Zapdos.
So Lionel obviously thinking that his lead's doing just enough work as it is. He doesn't change his lead. Jackson offers a little more offensive pressure by bringing in Salamence and drops Kangaskhan's attack. Just a bit more about me. Jive time, I went 6-3. I ended up using a Kangaskhan, Entei, Double Genie, Kinkilda, and well, it obviously didn't go well if I can't remember the last Pokemon. I'll get back to that later. And yeah, it was alright. But here we have
so we're going to see the Mega Salamence evolve before this speed type, possibly, maybe not Mega Evolve.
Yeah.
Before the Mega Kangaskhan.
Indicating, because we know Lionel's is a Jolly Max Speed Kangaskhan, we know that this is a Speed type. We know that this has to be a Jolly. Yeah, I use Aegislash, the great corrects me on my own team. Yeah. We see the fake out again. Does Lionel take the bait? Does he go for the hidden power?
So both games we've seen Lionel fake out into that potential protect and Tailwind again.
A lot of fake out opening this tournament.
Yeah, definitely. So we'll see this Ice Beam. It goes onto that Zapdos.
Oh, we get the freeze!
Important play there.
We see Jackson get his hands up in the air and kiss the sky.
In Australia, if you've been watching the stream, you know you're flying electric types. They're just not safe against Ice Beam and Ice Punch. They're just frozen.
Was Jackson's men's special? No, it's not. We talked, it's a Double Edge, Roost, Dragon Dance Protect set.
Yeah. So we know it's only got one move, Double Edge. I mean, the Zapdos being paralyzed here is a pretty big deal, because we know that Salamence now can easily follow me Dragon Dance. And if this Clefable isn't unaware, it may be able to take more than one return. If it is unaware, it will ignore Salamence's Intimidate and still take maximum damage from return.
Yeah, I'm not sure on the ability at all. We haven't seen any indicators of what it could be. But having that Zapdos frozen is really going to limit the damage output, at least this turn, from Lionel or Catgonk. It'll be interesting to see if he opts to switch it out like we saw in the seniors final.
Okay, we see Kangaskhan into Heatran. This is a little bit about what we're talking about. We know that Lionel knows Jackson's team and knows that is a one-move attacking move Salamence and knows that it's not scared of Earthquake. Yeah, we see the Dragon Dance, so predicted.
Dragon Dance, so momentum from the first game. We saw in the first game, as soon as Tailwind up, there was a lot of switching and Jackson had to eat up a lot of attacks, where this game, we've seen the Tailwind go up and nothing's happened so far. And nothing looks like a Heat Wave maybe this turn onto a resisted Mega Salamence and a very bulky Clefable.
Yeah, we also know the Heatran has Life Orb Flash Cannon, which could be a huge deal here.
Yeah, my bad, it doesn't actually have Heat Wave. It's that Flamethrower, Flash Cannon, Earth Power.
Earth Power and Protect. We don't see a substitute here. See, the freeze on Zapdos is becoming a bigger and bigger deal each turn. We see it here. For the Twitch chat that doesn't know, freeze is a permanent status that gives you a 20% chance to thaw each turn. So he could be frozen the whole game if probability says so. So
Pokemon's good at that. It's very much a game of luck, so that could effectively frozen in some cases. This is basically a KO, and in some cases even worse than, because it's one less Pokemon you have on the field, one less Pokemon that can act.
Yeah, exactly.
You'd rather have two active ones at least.
Seems like they will go for the follow me. Heatran goes for that Flash Cannon that we just spoke about. How much is that going to do? That leaves the Clefable 1 HP.
Huge damage. And we're going to see the Citrus Berry activate, but
Not going to help all that much.
Zapdos is frozen solid again. Another Dragon Dance.
It looks like Jackson is trying to stall out this Tailwind with Dragon Dance, and anything bringing, say, Virizion and a +2 Mega Mance, it's really going to be quite difficult for Lionel to stop.
See, the issue now for Lionel is that Salamence is now faster than the Zapdos under Tailwind. If he gets one more Dragon Dance, I believe it's going to be faster than the Landers under Tailwind. I think he might go for it again. Or the safe.
Again looks like it'll be a likely play.
No, he's going for the Zapdos. He's playing it safe. Well played to Jackson.
Smart move from Jackson. He could have went for a follow me and Dragon Dance, but that's of course risking the Zapdos not waking up, but falling,
yeah,
and hitting a hidden power ice onto that Salamence. This also gives Jackson a free switch, which is really important.
We've got to remember that the +2 isn't so much overkill. It means that if the Landers comes in, it still has to die to a +1 double edge. So it's not so much unnecessary, it's more of an insurance against the Landers that Jackson probably presumes is in the back. There we go, we see the Landers come in now.
Alright, out comes the Landers.
Landers and Verizon, we talked about this is almost the ideal situation for Jackson that he was aiming for. He was aiming to get his 2 fast Pokemon in with some Dragon Dances up when Trick Room's gone. He's achieved that, and it'll be interesting to see if he can capitalize on that now.
See, I wouldn't be surprised here to see Heatran Protect and Kangaskhan come in over Landers again, because he wants to get another Intimidate off and make that Salamence's defensive pressure less. Instead, we see Landers go straight down to double edge, and that is why we saw the +2.
Right, huge hit takes out the Landers.
If Heatran's going to need to get a Heat Wave burn here, I think, in order to bring his...
Heatran. 2 HP. That Life Orb is going to take down the Heatran. It'll be interesting to see. Goes for the Flamethrower onto...
Oh.
Flamethrower play.
Flamethrower lets Lionel down here as a Life Orb Heat Wave likely would have knocked out the Salamence. This is the, to remind the stream, this is the 3rd and 4th place game. It's going to decide who comes 3rd. It's more of an exhibition game at this point.
Grand finals will be after this though, so sit tight everyone.
And that will be between Singaporean player Feron and the Australian Matthew.
So we're in an interesting position here. We know that Kangaskhan is low kick, so that means that so we know that Jackson could go for the fake out on Salamence, and that would likely knock it out. We might see the Salamence and Heatran Protect to avoid fake out altogether. I think that's what Jackson would do. Yeah, he seems to be playing this cautiously. Yep. And then we know that the Salamence is Roost, so that seems to be the safest play here.
Full safe play.
Yeah, we've got to see Sucker Punch obviously failing.
2-0, just downloads the Sucker Punch.
So now he's got a call here, whether the Salamence is going to Roost or just go straight for the double edge. Kangaskhan goes to the Sucker Punch, Salamence goes for the Roost.
Salamence Roost. And that looks like it's going to be game.
Yeah, it looks like it's sold.
Real good heal there.
And Heat Wave, I'm pretty sure that's modest damage. Modest damage output from that Heatran there. Doing over 50% to a 4 HP Kangaskhan.
Possibly good information for game 3, but Jackson's going to wrap up game 2 and it's going to be 1 game apiece.
There's a bracket reset.
When the finals start after this match, and there'll be a delay of, do we have any idea?
No,
maybe
not too long.
Yeah, it shouldn't be too long. They had a lot of time during the quiz to get set up, so hopefully we can get into the finals as soon as possible.
So we see 1-all.
Training buddies, Lionel and Jackson. Opposite sides of the country.
Hey, the Carnivore knows me. I'm trash. He's right. He's 100% right.
Helping each other out with their Pokemon knowledge.
Danny the Carnivore gets banned.
Hey guys, find out what Facebook groups everyone's a part of.
Okay, so this is once again last game for Masters Bronze match or 3rd place match.
Yeah.
This is just for glory. The prizes and the championship points are identical. This is just for something to do.
Yeah.
Because it beats us talking for half an hour in intermission again.
Yeah, exactly.
So
I'm also looking at after the finals to try and get some more internet exhibition matches going. So just when the grand final ends, the stream will not.
I've heard that Dog has a legendary muck team, which everyone's keen to see. They really test that 1 hour timer.
He's just out the 1 hour timer, yeah.
Like we've seen the past 2 times, the Thunderous T-Scarf, Mega Salamence, and we're going to get into the game.
Here we go.
Interesting to see what changes both players make here. Because, I mean, Lionel's Zapdos getting frozen on Ice Beam basically sealed up the game there for Jackson. So it'll be interesting to see whether he can play around that. Jackson going back to his, I don't think he's led this.
Salamence.
Frisian Salamence, he hasn't led this yet. Zapdos Kangaskhan led once again.
I definitely think this is a better lead from Jackson. He can bring in Clefable next turn on a Protect, but at least his first turn he's going to get a lot more offensive pressure off. We've seen the past 2 games, Jackson hasn't protected on either of the fake outs. So I wouldn't be surprised to see him play this turn fairly offensively and not protect at all, but that of course opens him up to fake out heat waves, fake out hidden power ices and dangerous
dangerous. Yeah, unlikely you'll see me in Boston because my CP is not high enough for a paid invite, but next year I'll probably grind the circuit and try and get to Worlds.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, why not?
I'm going to try my best to broadcast as many regionals as I can, so
That'd be great.
I might
get it done, I'll do the travel.
I might do some traveling with some friends and we'll see how we go, but this year probably not. So again in this position, you guys have heard us talk about it, it's coming down to the prediction. I think Landers coming in here over Zapdos or Kangaskhan could be a really good move here for Lionel to make.
Yeah, it's not under the threat from the Clefable Ice Beam, and of the other 2 games, it's been a similar situation, and both times we've talked about the possible Landers switching. That being said, both games, Lionel has gone for a fake out Tailwind play, and really there's no good reason for him not to this game. He might lose a Pokemon, but momentum-wise, he should be gaining a fair bit.
Yeah, the thing is, Jolly Kangaskhan, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think I could die to a Jolly Double Edge. I think it's got a chance of being KO'd.
Got tag out.
So we see Clefable coming in here. I think we're going to find out very quickly whether this Clefable is of unaware nature. Because if it's unaware, it's going to take more damage from return here. Otherwise, Jackson can capitalize on his Intimidate. I wouldn't be surprised to see a Protect here from Salamence, yeah. We see the Salamence not Mega Evolve, indicating Jackson is keeping his options open to switching. It's a very clever move because he realizes that he's not going to outspeed the Kang after next turn because Zapdos is probably going to go for a Tailwind, as we see the Tailwind.
Yeah, so that was a really strong play from Jackson. I think he predicted that, and he acted like he would be the best possible moves for him to make.
Yeah, so we're about to see, I think we'll see what the question we've been asking all set. Is this Clefable unaware? Because it's a pretty big deal here. If it's not unaware, it'll take a return Thunderbolt. If it is, it will take it, sorry. So, we'll see what Jackson decides to go for here. Well, the Salamence might even switch out instead of Dragon Dancing as well, so...
We've got a question in chat. What happened in Game 2? The Zapdos was frozen, Jackson was able to get a few Dragon Dances up, and Virizion and Mega Salamence swept through the team more or less. Kangaskhan was left alone, Jackson got a Roost off on the failed Sucker Punch, and won from there.
Yeah, Daniel sums it up pretty well. It's exactly what happened.
So we see both players are taking a fair
So we see
while.
Kangaskhan switch out, not wishing to retain its momentum. Heatran comes in. It's obvious that Lionel wants to deal with this Clefable as soon as possible. Salamence Mega Evolves. We're going to probably see a Dragon Dance this turn.
Yeah, that could be a really ballsy read by Jackson. He might take a Hidden Power Ice here.
Oh no, Jackson goes to the safe play.
Safe play.
Safe play. Lionel doesn't take the bait. He goes straight for the Thunderbolt. We're going to see the Citrus Berry proc here.
Put him back at about 50%, maybe 60.
Yeah.
Definitely in range of that Life Orb Flash Cannon from the Heatran. He goes straight for the Double Edge onto the Heatran. Solid switch
Still
by
half
Lionel.
damage. So.
Yeah.
We see the power on a not very effective move on Heatran here. I'm not sure if that's a damage roll to just 2-hit KO for HP Heatran.
It wouldn't be 2 because 88 times
It might
2
be
is
a-
168.
Might be a low damage roll.
So
Yeah.
put him on 2 health.
Might be a low.
If it's a low damage roll, and then he goes for a high damage roll this
yeah.
turn, it could be enough to sway it.
That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah. So we're not sure. We know Lionel's only running 4 HP on Heatran, so it's a definite option. So that's I think it's going to be Landorus coming in for sure here. Landorus is coming in. That's a dangerous switch, knowing that the Clefable has Ice Beam. We'll probably see a Flash Cannon for Heatran and make this a more safe play.
And we'll see if Jackson goes for a Dragon Dance or Protect, or what he will do if he even stays in. He's switched out
Heatran
into
coming
his
out.
own Heatran.
Heatran comes out here. I think we're going to see a Flash Cannon here on Clefable. No, Clefable protects. Well played. Now, interestingly here, in this position, as the Flash Cannon does negligible damage to Heatran, right? Heatran can't Landorus can't Earthquake because of the Heatran next to it. So it seems that the Landorus might actually go for an Earthquake while switching out into the Zapdos.
Yeah, definitely. That looks like a really strong play. And then if Jackson does bring in his own Mega Salamence to try and avoid that Earthquake, Zapdos can still put pressure on the Salamence.
Yes, definitely.
It's looking like momentum's definitely on Lionel's side, and Jackson's going to need to make some big reads or have things go in his favor if he's going to want to get back in the upper position.
Yeah. Also, it's important to note, Heatran is still outspeeding both the Clefable and the Heatran on the Tailwind. Jackson might just wish to go for the safe double protect. He gets to scout the Landorus' Choice Scarf item. And he also gets to burn a turn of Tailwind. So we'll see what happens here. Lionel's taking a bit of time to select his move. Jack's taking a bit of time. We unfortunately don't have the 45-second timer here, as this game is run through the PSS and not the national system.
Yeah, Jackson's definitely taking a long time. It's a big turn for him. If he doesn't double protect and he makes a read, then it could easily decide the game. We're going to see the Landorus go back.
I think Lionel's predicting a double protect here. Getting the Kangaskhan in, trying to get momentum on a fake out. Jackson switches out the Heatran. Who are we going to see come in? We see the Salamence come straight back in. No Intimidators, it has Mega Evolved, and Heatran protecting. It's a really, really interesting play, because he did have the Tailwind. Clefable goes for the Ice Beam. Are we going to see Freeze? No, Kangaskhan is thankfully not frozen.
That would have been disastrous.
So we want to see the Tailwind pieces out here, but Lionel was able to keep the momentum going on his side by switching in the Kangaskhan and having that fake out threat.
See, interestingly here, Lionel is somewhat hindered by the fact that he doesn't have substitute on Heatran. A fake out and Salamence and a substitute with Heatran would pretty much seal up this game for him, put him in such a brilliant position. But because he doesn't have it, he has to attack or switch. And as such, he's susceptible to being double protected or having a Heatran switched in on himself.
Jackson brings in his own Heatran, maybe he's...
Kangaskhan goes for the obvious fake out here on Salamence. What are we going to see Heatran do?
We'll see if Lionel predicts it.
Lionel goes for the Flash Cannon, also on Salamence, no on the Heatran. So we see negligible damage. So we saw Lionel's Heatran outspeed Jackson's Heatran last game with Earthbound, and having in the Life Orb item, it will KO, even though it is of timid nature. We're not 100% sure on what Jackson's nature is on his Heatran or his investment, so this may be a speed tie, and we're not sure.
In the first game, I believe that was out of Tailwind, the Heatran, Lionel's Heatran Catgonks did outspeed FamousDeaf Jackson's.
Yeah.
If that's a speed tie, if Jackson's running modest, not maybe timid without max speed, we're not 100% sure.
Yeah, we're definitely not sure.
Spadards, thank you for the host, and Sorji, good to see you in chat. Thanks for popping in.
Heatran goes for the protect on Lionel's side. This could be a big turn, because Jackson does have substitute. Oh, we see that Ice Beam chip damage used very cleverly there on Jackson.
Yep.
Maybe Lionel didn't notice he was in double edge range there. Are we going to see a substitute go up from Heatran? No. A substitute play from Heatran there would have definitely stood up the game there for Jackson. I mean, it's such a brilliant position.
And so now this time we're going to see that Heatran is also in range of a double edge, although it's resisted. I believe we saw a -1 do around about half last game.
Yeah.
So it's definitely in range of a double edge. And then it really comes down...
Oh, the Intimidate might make it a less. Intimidate might make it... It'd be a damage roll, I think.
Yeah.
The Landorus' Rock Slide also is threatening the Salamence here.
Jackson could opt to double protect and scout out what the Landorus locks itself into. But you'd be assuming it was Rock Slide.
Yeah, Rock Slide is the best move in the game, reminding everyone again. We also know that Lionel might know that his Heatran is faster. We're still unsure on Jackson's speed. So he might, if Jackson knows that Lionel's Heatran is faster, a switch out for him is pretty obvious.
Pokemon-wise, Jackson's definitely got a bit of an advantage. He's got 4 Pokemon left. Lionel's only got 3, and if we do see one more KO, then Lionel's going to have to be locked into something with that Landorus. But we're going to see the Salamence go back to Jackson, and yeah, Virizion came in.
Pretty safe play there. It looks like a really good play, to be quite honest. That's a good switch in. Now, assuming Landorus doesn't get flinches here, Jackson is in a match-winning position now. Switching into close combat Heatwave isn't... Oh no, Lionel, brilliant play. Absolutely incredible play. Yeah. Brilliant prediction, ignoring the Heatran. Knowing that Jackson thinks that Lionel's Heatran's faster, he plays around it completely. Brilliant play to keep him in the game.
Lionel made a huge read there. He got rid of a threat to Heatran, and he got rid of a threat to whatever Lionel has in the back. We're going to see Jackson bring back into Salamence, but now that's in Rock Slide range.
Yeah, it does look like it.
Yeah, I'd think so.
I'd expect Jackson to try and get Clefable in here over Heatran and try and get a Heatran-Clefable situation occurring here. But no, he's going to bank on his Salamence living Rock Slide. Is it going to live?
See Jackson with his hands in the air.
That's going to be the game, I think. If Lionel outspeeds here, that is the game. Oh! The flinch seals up the game. Landers once again proving why it is.
Yeah,
with rock slide,
it was
the
a
best.
speed tie. It was timid Max.
It was a speed tie.
The flinch, the best move in the game, as Luke's been saying all day.
Yeah.
Is going to decide the game. Jackson puts his hands in the air. He doesn't mind. He's had a fun game. He's smiling. And we're going to see Clefable versus the world.
Yeah. Oh, Clefable dodges. No, Clefable's down. So we can confirm Lionel as the third place unofficially of the Australian National Championships.
He has placed third, even though it's 3-4. He has placed it anyway, so.